96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
You have to be strong in today's world. Keep your focus and up. You believe in how to achieve all your dreams. Keep moving forward. Never accept less than who you are. Live your best life. Be strong and free. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja
The Hits Back with Nahaja Black is sponsored by Atlantis Paradise Island, the Ministry of Health, Cable Bahamas, Rev Christmas, AML Foods Limited, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, BTC, and Fidelity Bank Bahamas.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and welcome to the Hit Back. I'm your host, Nahaja Black. It is a beautiful day here in the 242. I hope that you are doing well, taking care of yourself, and living your best life today. We got a full show for you today, and it was a little, I want to say special thank you to two great hosts that really took care of the show for me. I want to say a special thank you to my good friend Hubert Edwards, who filled in for me on Tuesday. And of course, fill in is a strong word. I would rather say where they just encapsulated the show's theme and did their own show, which is wonderful. And also my good friend, Robin Lyons. Yesterday's show was phenomenal. I want to thank them both for their time and their talent for me for the past 2 days. With that said, I missed a few big bits of stories that I got some thoughts on, commentary on. People were calling. Guys, when I'm not on the show, doesn't mean I'm dying or something. It isn't the end of the world. It means that I might be doing something like taking a break. But I appreciate all of the calls, the loves and concern. And we are going to have a great show for you today. I have of course, as we lead into Christmas, as we lead into the holidays, I have great guests who are coming on. First today is Cable Bahamas. Tomorrow we got BTC. And through the rest of the weeks leading up to the holidays, I love this time because this is when corporate Bahamas, they just love to give. They get all in the festive spirit. And you and I could be recipients of Christmas early. And see, that is getting me excited because I don't win nothing. Seriously, I don't win a thing. It's just like the worst luck. But I'm excited about it. We are also on the show. This is one of the things that I am so excited to be able to do again, where I am going to connect with as many of my sponsors and all small businesses that I can find to do 10 days of giveaways myself. Now we got to give away to you guys who tune in every day with your time, your mental energy to tune into the Hit Back with me 4 to 6 p.m. through the week. So without further ado, I'll tell you more about it. CA was with me the last time we did it. Then we had a pandemic. So then, hey, who giving away anything? I couldn't even give away myself. Nobody was buying then. But anyways, here we have joining me all the way. I won't say all the way, but we'll go with that. All the way from wherever in the world of cyber and wherever in the wonderful, illustrious building of Cable Bahamas he is. I want to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Russell. Mark, how are you, buddy? Welcome.
Thank you, Nahaja. Great to be back. Great to be back with you again. I thoroughly enjoyed our last meeting and just looking forward to being back with you again today to speak about some of the great things that Rev has in store for our customers.
How is your daughter, by the way?
She's good. I'll tell her you said hello.
Please tell her I said hello. It's so good to have you on, Mark. Like I said, it's Christmas now, right? We're getting into the festive spirit. The food store next to me is selling Christmas trees. The lights are up and the Christmas music, the pine scents are about. And this is my favorite time of year because this is when Rev and other corporate entities really, really just top themselves on just being magnanimous. And I feel it today, Mark. The magnanimous spirit you come in with today. So tell us what's going on with Rev.
Yeah, so we're really in the Christmas spirit at Rev. We've been in the Christmas spirit now for a couple of weeks, but we've turned it up even more starting yesterday. We've gone ahead with our 31 days of giveaways, and we're giving away. And the great thing about what we're doing here at Rev is while we want to give away and for the season, we are not really interested. I shouldn't say we're not interested, but we want to give back to our customers who have kept us going all these years. So we're not tying our giveaways for you to just say, hey, you have to buy X to get Y. Every one of our customers are eligible to be a part of our giveaway, whether it is from, getting in our cash vaults, entering to win any of our grand prizes, and just being a part of our new products offerings that we have in store. It's all a give back for all our loyal customers. I've lost you, Nahaja. I think you're on mute.
I was on mute. My apologies.
we go through this every day. Don't worry. You're not alone.
It's been a kind of season.
Yeah.
But with this whole giveaways thing with Rev, why do we do this every Christmas? Why do we do this?
Well, traditionally, companies get excited at Christmas time because customers are excited and everybody's excited to spend. But we've been coming off of a pandemic and a really tough 2 years. We've had some customers who have lost their jobs and they've reached out to us and asked us to work with them to keep themselves connected so they can get their kids at school even though they can't afford to pay their bills. And we have set up programs to work with our customers during the pandemic. And these customers through it all have remained with us, right? They've made sure that they've paid their Rev bill because they know that we give superior service, and for their kids to be in school, to continue the learning process, they really need the superior service to be in school. So they've stuck with us through the hard times, and we're moving ahead to get them excited about Christmas again. We've had a couple of givebacks so far this year, and they've been really, really inspirational. One of our customers, she lucked out and she got a $1,000 Christmas food voucher for Christmas. And she was so welcoming of that because when you listen to her story, she was actually doing really bad during the early part of the year. And she was just really wondering, it's Christmas season, but what does Christmas mean for me? Because I don't even know if I'll be able to even celebrate Christmas with my family. And, here we popped up out of the blue and, we blessed her with some a well-needed prize. And she's happy. Christmas is now back on the table for her. So while in the past it has always been take, it's retail, we're bringing back the real magic of Christmas on our side. Just by being a loyal Rev customer, you have an opportunity to benefit from our givebacks.
Well, let's talk about some of these. If you're just tuning in, Mark Russell, product lead for Rev of Bahamas, joining us on the show today. So let's talk about some of these opportunities, some of these wins, because I love the sound of $1,000 worth of grocery. You understand, with all of these children, I could be straight. So, tell us, please, Mark, what sort of prizes do we have, and then how do we get involved, and how do we put our name in? Because I know the vaccine incentive, man. I've been waiting. I done double shot 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think I was first in line. But yeah, so we do have great prizes. We have prizes from TV sets. We have prizes from electronic gifts. We have cash prizes. We have grocery vouchers. We have BPL vouchers. We have gas vouchers. Things to just make sure that everybody is in a good space at Christmas time. Nobody will ever have to say, "Oh, how am I going to pay my BPL bill?" No, Rev is here to help. We're paying. Lucky winners will have their rent paid. They'll have mortgages, of course, up to a predetermined amount, but mortgages paid.
Would you write off my mortgage?
No, not writing off your whole mortgage, but we'll assist with your payment, just to make sure that the Christmas season is a little bit brighter for you. And of course, on top of it all, Rev does have great products and services. And one of our services that we do offer now is our Trio product has been a really good product for the last couple of years. And, we have a new product this year that's called the Trio Plus. And it's really just $29 extra than what the regular Trio is. And you get a whole lot more. We spoke about the Aero device last time I was here. A part of that service, you do get the Aero device. You do get 10 channels of HBO. You do get increased broadband speeds. You do get increased opportunity to try some of our new packages, our new TV packages for free. So it's a whole lot more for $29. And of course, you still get all the cool stuff, which is free NBA League Pass, free NFL Sunday ticket. And if these guys ever figure out what's going on with the baseball strike, we may just throw in baseball come March.
Yeah, well, you know, I didn't even know there was a strike. All I need is NFL,
started today.
NBA. Once I get my league passes, you said something now. That's the only thing that matters to me. If I get my NFL ticket, is Red Zone included in that?
Red Zone is included in it.
This is powerful. What's the name of that package again?
That's the NFL Sunday ticket package. But the trio, right? Sorry. So it's our Trio Plus package. It's an increase on our regular Trio package, and you get 10 channels of NBA, you get 10 channels of NFL, you get every out of market game. That's, you know, there's no blackout games.
No blackouts.
No blackout. All in HD.
You know, that's powerful.
Yep.
No, that's powerful, Mark. You said something that hit my soul deep. That hit my soul. Now, you know, I need.
And
my
of course,
rhythm.
Also a part of it is our HBO Max app product. And HBO Max is since the merger between HBO and Warner Media, it has all kinds of stuff on it. It's not just HBO stuff anymore. It's HBO. It's
Disney.
Warner Brothers. Disney's not on it, but HBO and Time Warner content. It's a ton of content, from sitcoms, from Big Bang Theory, every single episode of Big Bang Theory, go way back to cartoons such as the Jetsons, come right back up. Series, movies. It's really to behold. And of course, with our 100 meg internet speed package at that point, you know, it's really easy to stream, and it streams on all smart TVs, your mobile devices. You want to go out, you can download the content and carry it with you. You don't even need internet to watch it at the end of the day. So it's really, 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 really a great product.
Let me ask you this before we go, Mark. I want to ask you this. For folks who want to know exactly how, do you have to already be, this is like you said, for your loyal Rev customers. So then if you're not a Rev customer, dog eat your lunch.
Well, you just need to become a Rev customer.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I felt that.
Right. So if you're not a Rev customer, you know, feel free to become a Rev customer, and we'll take care of it. We're having pop-up events all throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas. We had a really cool event on the park at Elizabeth Estates on Saturday night. We had 150 kids. We treated them to How the Grinch Stole Christmas. We had a real life Grinch there. We had food and present giveaways. It was a really good time. Tomorrow we go to Abaco, and Saturday we're in Grand Bahama. So as I said, it's all about the give back. At that event at Elizabeth Estates that we went to, we never asked anybody if they were a Rev customer.
No, that's awesome.
You just come, you just have a good time. Right.
That's my area, Mark. Okay, so then now for the record, how do we enter? Or is it just automatic? Once you're paying your bill in full, you're automatically entered.
Once you pay your bill in full, you're automatically entered, right? But if you turn up to one of our pop-ups when we have them, and you have to pay attention to our social media. If you turn up to one of our pop-ups, you have an additional benefit. So here you are, we're having a pop-up at Southwest Plaza, which we did 3 weeks ago. You walk into Southwest Plaza, their live store, you pay your bill in full, you come out with a receipt, you have an opportunity to enter our cash vault or spin the wheel and win prizes thing. So it's a ton of ways that you can win, right? And just so that everybody knows that we're once again in the Solomon stores. You can pay your bill in full in the Solomon stores at Old Trail and at Yamacraw. You can pay your bill in the live stores. So we're making it convenient for you to come out and take advantage of our prize giving.
Listen, Mark, you guys gonna have to invite me to one of these pop-ups one day. And
I'll definitely invite you.
I will politely
invite you. I can work a prize for you as well.
Look at God, won't he do it? Because, I would like, just to test to see if the money spins right in the money machine thingy majiggy. I could go in there and see how many I catch. I think you'll have one of those, right?
Yeah, we got one of those, and we've gotten people have gone up to, I think it's over $500 in 30 seconds. That's how crazy
Really?
this thing can get. Yeah. You know, if
That's
you,
a
if
Bahamian
you,
fire. Bingo.
yeah, if you strategize correctly, you know, you can really take advantage of the situation.
Mark, go ahead. Sorry.
So I just wanted to say that, you know, if anybody needs any more information, they can always call 601-8992, and any of our great sales agents will be able to tell them exactly what it is we have on offer. I think we lost connection here, Nahaja, but I'll just say the number again in case anybody out there can hear. It's 601-8992.
Yeah. I think we figured it out at some point. All right, Mark. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So thanks for having
Thank
me,
you,
guys. And Nahaja, we'll definitely be in touch when our next pop-up is, and you can pass by and we'll see what we can work out for you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. You're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black. Everyone, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we got a little bit more for you. I'm going to enjoy this pop-up thing. I really am going to enjoy checking these out. This holiday season, pop up as much as you need to and as much as you want. We'll be back right after.
Helping out each other, family and everybody. It's a simple act of kindness with you, me, and RBC.
RBC wants to spread acts of kindness during this festive season. One simple act of kindness for our friends, co-workers, and communities can cause the brightest smile. Help a stranger, give a food basket, or call an elderly person. Share your stories at facebook.com/RBC Caribbean.
Acts of kindness, RBC.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bump into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
What you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business, then Jack come after me, and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them. And the messages get all mixed up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Are you on the move? Busy running errands? Do you have so much to do that you don't have a lot of time on your hands? Have you gotten your COVID-19 vaccine yet? Well, if you haven't, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine may be the one for you. It's one and done and fully vaccinated for now. Yes, you only need one jab of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and you're done. Lower your risk of severe illness and death from COVID-19 by getting vaccinated. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and this radio station.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
And we're welcome back. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja, Black Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You know, it's one of those things at 5 o'clock. It's always like something close to 5 anyway. Hope you guys are doing well, taking care of yourself. We got a good show for you today. So I you know, my 2 days off, and technically, if you it's just off from not talking, but definitely still working. But I digress. You ain't asked for that. We got 10 days of giveaways starting next week. We got some special prizes and surprises for my listeners. Still working on what we will have our listeners do to get these wonderful prizes. And I'm working very diligently to get some very good ones for all of you, just to say thank you. And of course, just to, as we continue to give some of this holiday cheer, it's very important. So this has been an interesting year, right? The year 2021 rolled right along from 2020 and continued to be a year that was giving gifts that we don't necessarily need. In particular for us in the Bahamas, in the summer of 2021 was by far the deadliest we've had. And it was not from, I don't even know if it's fair to say that, because we still don't know the amount of lives we've lost in Dorian. But it's as if the hits kept giving. But due to COVID-19, we found that the year 2021 has been one that really in the annals of history, we should be written, but with so many perspectives, not just one narrative, but multiple perspectives. I hope some of our journalists write books on it. I hope that some of our historians take the time out. We have museums that dedicate to this time in our lives. Not museums, but the chapters and spaces. But this year has been interesting. Not just COVID, but politicking, right? We saw, in particular, the House of Assembly just under the auspices, not just last year, but the previous year, 2020 in particular, that the Speaker of the House has become a far more entertaining, vivacious, illuminating space or role. Listen, you consider the speaker as an appointee, just like everybody else, right? Like you'd expect them to sit there, nod, say member, point of order, and then tell the opposition, know your role. It's kind of what we've grown accustomed to, right? We've grown accustomed to speakers, making sure that the opposition toes the line, right? Halson Mutri was a different one altogether. Former Speaker Halson Mutri was a different one. But it became a different one late in the game. Somewhere by halftime in the game of politics, at the 2-year mark, when things probably weren't going as lemon squeezy as he would have liked, whoop, there it is, the speaker spoke. And the speaker was what's the word? Loquacious one, right? He was the speaker of all speakers. This speaker, though, was a speaker even before, an orator. I don't know what ilk, but definitely one whom loved to say his piece, right? And as an attorney, that is understood. And I gather as one who felt as if the role of speaker was constraining at the beginning, needed to stand up and usurp and state his power and authority, in particular to the opposition at the beginning. And I remember sitting there and I said, well, boy, speaker got a vibe, eh? He got a vibe with Glennis. Glennis is to get mashed up. Glennis Hannah Martin, now Minister of Education. Glennis Hannah Martin, I think she is still the acting prime minister. So I should say prime minister, acting prime minister. Glennis Hannah Martin, and Minister of Education, member of parliament, longest serving member of parliament in the House of Assembly. At this point, I think it is 5 terms. Cecil, is it 5 terms that she has won? Or 6 maybe, I can't even keep up anymore. But I remember former Speaker Halson Mutri used to throw some blows. And a lot used to land on Glennis Hannah Martin. And I remember saying, Speaker got a vibe with Glennis, eh? Why is he, I don't like his tone with Glennis Hannah. I don't like it. It ain't right. It feels very, like you don't like her. It's personal. And she's the only female across the road. I mean, all the other fellas used to talk nonsense too, but it was something about Glennis that rubbed the former speaker the wrong way. Something about it. And then I started to dig in, I said, well, and I'm using Bahamian vernacular, what's the vibe? What's the deal? What's the deep story? And you would hear stories, they didn't like each other from that time. And I'm like, boy, there's some serious story. What is the issue? No one can really tell. It's just a thing. And even members of parliament on both sides couldn't figure out what's the why. What was the why? It was a why. There was definitely a why. The speaker, on the other hand, former Speaker Hudson Moutry, he had this thing too where he needed to tell a story. He needed his side to be heard. He would bring up things about spouses, right? And I was like, well, wait, that's odd. Now, all of this is before I start, before the speaker won me over. Because there was the first half and there's the second half. One of my favorite coaches, Doc Rivers, and in the NBA, Doc always says, Doc Rivers in the NBA, former head coach of the Boston Celtics, Doc said this thing: it isn't who starts the game, it's who finishes the game. When we had some issues with, they're not in the starting five, Doc said, it ain't about how you started. It's not who just starts, it is who finishes it. I like that, and I go with that, because I don't believe it's just how you start the game. That's the first impression. I like the way you finish the game. There's a first half and a second half. I watched my quarterback, Peyton Manning, with the Colts, playing, who was the team he played? The Chargers, when Phillip Rivers was the quarterback. Phillip Rivers had put the smackdown on the Colts' candied yam. First quarter was 24-0. And whoop, there it is. Here comes Peyton Manning in the second half, holding one of the greatest comebacks. And then, Tom Brady. Who's that other fella? I don't want to discuss it. Anyways, the point is, sometimes you come out the blocks a little rocky. Sometimes you have a rough start. But then you get your wind out of you. You get to a halftime mark, and then you course correct. You go back to the coach, you take a breather, drink some Gatorade, and you breathe. And then you reorganize, reassess. What is it that they are doing to me in the first half that is getting them to score points? Why am I reacting to their action rather than dictating the pace of the game? Hudson Moutry started off very wrong. And some will say, especially if you're F&M, he ended very wrong. Now, if you're a PLP, you're probably saying Hudson Moutry was a sleeper. He was a Trojan horse, a dark shadow. It worked out great for the party. But for the people, we liked the second half of Speaker Hudson Moutry, him becoming independent. I am a firm believer now. I want every speaker to be independent. I really would. But we won't go there, because I don't see that happening with this speaker. I think, the Prime Minister, Brave Davis, was wise enough to pick someone who was, I won't say. I don't know. I've never met Mr. Vo, so I can't say if she's loyal to the party, but I'm sure she's more loyal to the party than her own personal interests. But we digress on this point. I'll continue here. So there's a first half and second half. First half can be rocky. Second half can be exquisite. It can be narrated to just, the ultimate end, which is the victory. Though Mr. Moutry did not win the way he wished, because we all kind of knew it was self-sabotage when he went independent for him in his political career with the Progressive Liberal Party and with us, because, we don't respect independence. We don't. We talk a good game. And I want to just say congratulations to Coy, who was better than the DNA in gathering votes this lap. But again, I digress. But he did something that was important to the people as speaker. He educated us as to the role, the power of the speaker. We know now you can't fire a speaker. And personally, I love that. We learn more of the power and the might of the speaker. How to address whom to, how should we be addressed? How should they be addressed? Their voice, the power of their voice. It is their house. Though it is the people's house, they've been given the scepter to govern in the people's house, where they are the principal leader in the house, a part of our whole legislative branch, our whole governmental framework. This is a different beast. And I had a good conversation with a friend of mine today, and they were like, the person, the speaker is the entity, it's not the person. But I say that and even the chair, it is an entity. It is something that exists with regardless of whomever is in the space. But I brought to the point that the person who comes makes it alive. The document or the position is nothing unless a human is there to bring it to life. Human beings are fallible. Human beings can have a first half and a second half. Human beings can start rocky, but they got a game plan for success. That's just how life is. Now, Nahaja, what all of this talk for? All right, let's cut to the chase. So now after all of this, we have the Speaker of the House, Mrs. Patricia Andevo, right? She is the Speaker of the House. And there is this narrative going around. Is it classism? Is it sexism? What is it that's going on? We've even brought up, I don't know if you could call it, it's not racism, but colorism, because we do know that the Speaker, when she was not the Speaker, was one when she was introducing the Minister of Health some months ago, I don't even know, it was a year or so ago, that she made a reference to darkies and, darkies, lighties. The issue of colorism in the Bahamas or in the Caribbean nations or nations dominated by Black people is not unique. It is a system called, white supremacy, by which we see ourselves innately as as not superior, but inferior to our counterparts. That's why if a white person walks in the bank now, he or she gets served before you and I, or not served, but perhaps there's an assumption that they got more money than you and I. It is something about this whole thing. It's this whole set of nuances, but I digress. So this is now the Speaker. Speaker Patricia Andevo has had some interesting highlights since she's gotten into House. And there has been some interesting conversations and narratives surrounding the Speaker of the House. And I find myself in an odd, awkward position because I am sitting wishing to step back, not be guided by my initial or first reaction, but to digest, but to take it in. I haven't had any problems with most of what the Speaker has said and done because I am living post Halton Mutri. I am in post, this is pre-Halton, post-Halton. I'm living in a different world now. I went through a term with a Speaker that decided to be independent, a Speaker that ruffled the feathers of the former administration so much so that I think that he had played a part, and why they tried to prorogue or ended up, not proroguing the House. The session, and then ended up proroguing the House out of sheer embarrassment, right? All of these things are why Dr. Minnis had to go. Really, that's terrible. But I'm in a post-Halton Mutri speakership now. That dude was amazing. Second half, what a comeback. Not a big enough comeback to overcome all of the other issues that was the Free National Movement by which he was a part of. And then he became an independent. But what an amazing second half. Now we have a female speaker who comes with, some would say, question marks. And it is a question of, is it classism? And I never thought of it, but that's a part of the argument. Maybe it's classism. Oh, what was the conversation? Oh, well, she was a hot dog vendor. I call that an entrepreneur, right? So for me, my mind never went there as an honest living entrepreneur, but maybe it's intellectual acumen. I listened to the Speaker speak. She sounds good to me, right? She sounds eloquent enough, right? But we all know that there's a lot of rules and procedures by which one must be governed the House of Assembly, and you got to be an avid reader, and you have to have someone translate the whatever legalese talk. Have you ever tried to read just an affidavit? That's stressful. So I'm sure that the clerk has been there to guide. I listened to the former Deputy Speaker, Don Sanders, on another show, and he tried to couch it. And there was the question of, her what is the temperament? As a woman now, these things kind of they kind of make me a little uneasy. The temperament, she is too emotional. There are women who don't believe that women can be leaders because we get emotional. Something about our period just makes everybody anxious. Who knew? But this is where it gets interesting. So now I haven't had much of a challenge, right? And so at first glance, I saw this.
And whether you like it or not, respect will be given from all sides. I'm ashamed of the behavior today, and it will not go any further. Now, I want you to go and think on those things. Pointing. Is it funny? Is it funny? As a member, is it funny? I want to know, is it funny? Did I make a joke? I laughed. Why? Say to me why you're laughing. Now listen here. I didn't crack a joke. And let me tell you something.
You give me an opportunity to speak?
No. I don't need to hear from you. It's funny.
You said you asked a question.
I said, is it funny? Just answer yes or no.
You're not talking to children.
I am not talking to children.
Okay, so I pause it there, right? Let's pause it there. I walked away. My first, I asked myself a question. Where did this, this all come from? Or did you find it funny? And you can tell she lost control. She lost not control of the room. It was in that moment she allowed herself to be yanked, right? She allowed her chain to get pulled. And that's not what you want. You don't want anyone to be able to pull or yank your chain because you're no longer in control. And that was what we saw. And this, ladies and gentlemen, it isn't unknown. It doesn't not happen. It happens to men. It happens to women. But when it happens to us women, then the narrative shifts, right? We're too emotional. That's our deportment. It's our temperament. And, but I needed more. I needed more, right? Because this is where I think is also interesting. A part of me watching this and other instances of this with the speaker made me think that perhaps the speaker has been coached to not behave a certain way, but to protect herself, right? Perhaps she's been coached to say, by those, listen, you make sure don't let them run over you. Don't let anybody, abuse you. They'll take advantage. Stand your ground. They get rowdy. You make sure. And then there is also, I believe too, when certain things like the laughter and being laughed at, what she felt was being laughed at, immediately she felt insulted, slighted, belittled by the laugh. And it revealed to me perhaps some insecurities that caused a trigger. I know therapists. But there is this narrative of classism. Oh, she's a hot dog and she don't belong. Maybe you're sitting there with those things in the back of your mind and that caused you to pull a trigger. It pulled something that created the need to stand up. Okay, let's keep going.
But do not act as children. Do not act as children. Come on. Do not act as children and don't listen. I am standing now. I am standing in this house. So sister, please have a seat. Please have a seat.
No, you're wrong.
I am standing in this house. And I said what my likes and my dislikes are. Okay? And it's not funny, but you laughed. You're making a mockery of the chair. No, you're making a mockery because you laughed. And the people of this country are watching. No. I said on both sides. Did I not say that? Did I not say on both sides? And I am ashamed.
Meantime. All right. I okay. Now, so many things to unpack with that, right? Now, she did say. Now, first of all, can I just say, as somebody who went to R.M. Bailey, think on these things, Philippians 4:8. Boom. I was in the spirit as soon as she said that. Think on these things. I was saved all over again in the auditorium, R.M. Bailey. I digress on that point. But she did say some, listen, on both sides. She didn't have the Grammy point, but that's a bit, I could live, that's Black woman. I don't care with that. That's okay. If a man had pointed like that, we would have called him another name. So I'm good. Point away. And there was disrespect towards her as well. And I wonder, see, and this is it, offense breeds offense. You hurt me, I hurt you. So was she wrong? Did she say anything outside of her purview as speaker? No, I don't believe so. Was it a little bit more emotional, a little bit more that something was triggered? Yes. That disrespect she felt then moved into the need to stand. And actually, the need to stand showed to me that she needed to be bigger. She felt the need to be bigger, to present her authority stronger. And I think that it is also, a statement on that she felt in that moment that the opposition were trying to gang up on her. So she needed to stand up and show that I am the speaker. That she needed to do it is also disheartening that we would have to do it. But I mean, you move from being an independent speaker, we have an independent speaker, to now a speaker standing up. This is powerful. I came away from that torn. And I think the best thing that I could say is, Madam Speaker, don't let folks yank your chain. For the woman then, don't let nobody yank your chain. You could be the speaker and you hold those people into account. And next time they run out, pull a house in, call the guard, pull a house in. Now, for the record, new Mr. Pintar, the new speaker of the new leader of opposition, was flexing his muscles that day because he was interrupting everybody. Michael Pintar was on a tear. He wanted Dr. Minister to know, I am the head honcho in charge. But you see, anybody remember that Eddie Murphy, when Eddie Murphy was in Coming to America, where the beige fellow Eddie played in the barbershop would say, aha, aha. Remember that guy? My favorite guy of all times in Coming to America. But then I found out that there's this clip, right? And this is why the speaker was ashamed of the House, right? I didn't even see this first. I don't know how I missed this. But she should have been ashamed. And I still say, and I agree with Juan. Juan said that the prime minister there should still be hecklers assigned to the prime minister, the former prime minister, Hubert Minnis. But this is fascinating all by itself. Wait, hold on. Let me fix that audio. Because this is where it gets very, very interesting. And hopefully I get that right with this audio here. Let's see. It's still low. It's still very low.
Not like right on the point of order. Stop. Sit down, man. I rise on the point of order. You telling who sit down? Because come here, members, honorable members.
Okay, so I can't help. I think the audio was just way too low for what I wanted to play just now, and you guys will let me know. But this is where I thought it was fascinating. So now Michael Dowell, the Minister of Health, and the former PM Minnis, someone saying, we get it? Oh, you got it? The audio was fine? Let's try that one more time.
No, I must be completed with the loan. You don't have to complete.
Oh, no, wait. My producer, he has this audio. Let's hold on. My producer says he has the audio. So let me see if we actually... Kermit, you have the audio? Let me know if you have it. You can play it for me. Okay, all right. So we'll get it sorted out. I was really excited. I thought we had the audio. But that was fascinating to me because Dr. Minnis went Baintown when Dowell said, sit down, man. And MP Minnis said, you telling me to sit down? Come here and tell me to sit down. Come across the floor and tell me to sit down. Big rucker. We was going to be something like, one of those, you ever saw the Asian fight in the House of Assembly? The speaker said, listen, not again from both sides, never again. The speaker was bringing order. And then to have Mr. Pintard and, what's the name of the fellow from Long Island? Adrian Gibson, who a lot of people still don't like, by the way. A lot of people still don't like Adrian Gibson for some reason. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know, 3 lots. But anyways, a lot of folks still don't have a good affinity. Water and sewage folks, they just ain't feeling him. But they laughed. And that offended the chair. And I don't like how we just say the chair, because the chair by itself don't have feelings. It offended the speaker herself. Y'all just laughing at me? I don't have a bias, so I'm betwixt and between. I support her. And then this argument that it is not sexist, but in a way it does feel sexist. It does feel like there is sexism. Some say classism. Is it that seriously, that there are people in the House of Assembly who believe that they are above the speaker because of the way she made an honest living? I don't know if I see it. But if you need to be a lawyer, if you need to be a doctor, if you need to be something else, then tell that to all of the other freedom fighters who weren't those people and did what was necessary for the country. I like the speaker. I think she might need to, not allow her, the anger or the resentment or that insult. And she did well to come into the end. I think she caught herself. And I think that we watch this play out. But I don't like the idea of saying that she's emotional or doesn't have the temperament. Cut the crap. Cut the crap with that. Cut the crap. We've had speakers that did nothing, said nothing, and we have an issue with a female speaker. Oh my God. I think it's fascinating. Halson Mutri is the worst speaker of all time, but the Bahamian people like Halson Mutri. PRPs may not, FNMs may not, but then by and large, those in the middle. Halson Mutri did a lot for this country in the second half. In the first half, we don't know who that fellow was. But cut the crap that she doesn't have the temperament. Because listen, you put 99% of you in that spot, you will screw it up. You know why? Because you're going to have to get trained just like everybody else. God help you if you aren't an avid reader, have some challenges with understanding, and if the clock just don't like you. Not the temperament. What is the temperament of the speaker? The speaker is supposed to be non-pulse. The speaker has a role and a job to do. But if the people wish to usurp their powers, if the members wish to ignore when the speaker says, member, please have a seat. What is the speaker to do? Sit there quietly and then you call her weak? What is the speaker to do? I can't deal with those words. Those are key words to me that upset my sensibilities. Call me woman all you want. That's what I am. You know how many times I was told to be quiet in this spot? How many times that I was told that I don't know what I'm talking about? How many times I was mansplained to in this job, on this gig, that didn't like the octave of my voice? How many times and things people have said and done, and I still press on? You know why? Because it ain't them who gives you voice or the position. When God elevates, he does what he wishes. And when you are out of order, he will bring you down. Ask Dr. Minnis. He ascends, he will bring down low. It is what it is. And literally, if you are not a judge, cut the crap. Leave all of those key words that I tell you affect and offend women quite a bit. Now, you know us sisters, we have no problem when you're embarrassing us now, because I'm sorry, no matter how much I may like this woman as a person, I am happy she's not in the house anymore, because if you can't read your own speech, it ain't gonna work. It is what it is. Call a spade and everybody get delivered. But cut the crap. You know what it is? I remember when I first started doing political talk radio, moved from sports, someone that I respected highly said to me, as a business person, listen, man, all of this politics, don't talk no politics. Anybody want to hear no woman talking politics? This is when I went to him to say, why aren't you sponsoring my show? You're sponsoring other people's show. Woman, don't talk politics. Talk about something else. Talk about the road. Don't talk about politics. Talk about the street lights. Now they're back wanting to be on my show. And guess what? You're welcome to. But that's just how it goes. So no, I may say to the speaker, if anything I could say to the speaker, you know what I say to the speaker? Keep on pressing on. Do your thing. Do it in order. Do it righteously. Do it as a gift to God, because he elevates and he brings low. And once you are doing your work in service to the Most High, he will glorify you in the midst of darkness. And let order reign. Halson Mutri had a good second half. The speaker just had this isn't even the first quarter. And we talking about temperament. We got to call it real quick. Caller, you're on the line. Welcome.
Good on, Nahaja. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, my brother. You?
Wonderful, great show. And this is the inner city calling in to support Bamboo Town 1,000%. And I am amazed, okay? That is her authority as Speaker of those honorable chambers. Okay, those men that are bitter and despicable about the way how she rules and take offense that they're not children. Well, you see, just like how you think that she takes offense because she's a female, well, they could take offense because they're children. But they're not children. They are cowards. Okay? They were sitting in a cabinet. They were all sitting in a cabinet, and that one man almost run this country into the ground, and they is a boo. But now a female is in the chair. Okay? Those worthless, qualified, elected leaders. Okay? Now want to denounce her? No, sir. The inner city supports her 1,000 times. I support Bamboo Town. Okay? To stand her ground, congratulations, and to continue to do so. You are taking our country into the 21st century strong and a rating delivery.
Thank you, buddy. We're going to take a quick break, but I like this text, and we'll go on with this text on the other side. If she wanted to display her power or make people respect the chair, simply call the guards to usher whomever out. Simple. But that can be done in a professional manner. What she did was ghetto. Ghetto is strong, but what I will say is, yes, I think that she should have used what Hudson Moultrie did, even when he overdid it. Security, you're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black. We'll be back right after this.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
At Fidelity, the holidays are all about family, spending time with loved ones, and being thankful for the little things in life. Worrying about bills should be the last thing on your mind, especially during the holidays. Let Fidelity help you get your bills under control. Fidelity can also get you started with a real savings plan that actually pays you interest. The only thing you need to think about is what you will do with the savings in your pocket this Christmas. Now that's what I'm talking about. Fidelity Bank is here for you this holiday season because you are family, and family is important to us.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black.
And we're back. You're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I've got my good friend C.A. Nuri joining me on the show now. C.A., welcome, buddy. How you doing? But there you go.
I'm good. It took a while. You know, this mute button. I tend to say things on commercial break. I don't want to be recorded. So I got to keep it on mute just in case, you know. But it's good. Thank you very much for the invite. I was listening to you speak. It's an interesting topic, and I'm smiling. I'm smiling at the possibilities of what I shall comment.
You go, and I'm ready for you because this is interesting to me too, right? And you know, you and I, we chat all the time, but I intentionally did not bring this up with you today because I wanted your raw, honest opinion on this. So I
should have prepped me. You should have prepped me. So I could tell you, man, find something better to talk about. I would have tell you that, man. All these things happening in the world.
Listen, don't worry. we're going to get onto all of those other things too, because I got some Shannon on Cartwright stuff I need to get
let's
to on the
make fun of
expiring.
Shannon on Cartwright, yes.
And expiring vaccines. We have to get to those too. But I wanted to get your thoughts on it. And the reason why, of course, I've been out for 2 days, so I haven't had a chance to comment on it.
Yes.
And I just watched it continue to, like, at first I was like, okay, this is not, she did, it's not a good look. I saw that two things. One was I thought that she was coached. And when I say coached, you're coming into this space, and this space, I think you come in already with you're hearing the narratives. What the hot dog lady doing there? You give it to the hot dog lady. This is what people have been saying, right? And I wonder if she heard that and felt as if the need to overcompensate, and perhaps those who coached her, like the clock, saying, listen, you got to keep control of the space. Don't let nobody overshadow you. They're going to try you and test you, set the limits. And perhaps there is that, maybe that is there. But then she's been doing, I think, as best as you can for someone who's doing a big seat so far. But this last one, it did seem as if she lost her cool a bit. But I don't like that whole thing, but don't have the temperament and all that garbage. That bugs me, because I mean, listen, that is yank my chain. Temperament. You don't call a woman emotional or temperamental, because I just got emotional and temperamental.
Yes,
See your thoughts.
I know she got emotional and temperamental, but I wasn't going to say anything.
So you can't say it.
You run out.
You can't say it. No, you can't say it.
And shake my head. But honestly and sincerely, I think the speaker is doing an adequate job. I have no problem with her at all. I think that is a new position, and she's learning the ropes and finding herself. I am comfortable with what she's saying. Only thing I'm looking out for is if she ever used the word darky, then you see my whole temperament would change towards her, because I have issues with people calling dark people names, right? I'm not sure why, right? But I have no idea, right?
I have no idea why.
But like I said, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. She's doing an adequate job. She's showing strength. I do not like this narrative of the African party is being sexist. I don't think that is the case. I think that whoever would have been the speaker, if it was a male or female, the African would have challenged them. They would have challenged them at any moment, because that's what the opposition does. We see it when Glennis Hannah Martin was with the old speaker, Halson Moultrie. Mm-hmm. We saw it again, and I use a female example, when Natalia Johnson was the Speaker of the House. Bradley Roberts took her to task. There were times when I thought that it was going to be physical, that I was aghast and said, oh my God, he's going to attack the Speaker of the House.
Bradley Roberts had no care in the world. He would attack an aunt. Yes. An aunt would have gotten the garbage can.
I remember he took up the book and make motion as if he's going to palter with the book, right? And I said, wow. And I'm saying, did anyone see that just now? Mm-hmm. And I realized that this cat and mouse game, this challenging of the Speaker, this baiting them and going back and forth, is part of our democracy, parliamentary democracy. You see it all over the world with this Westminster system, where just recently I was watching the House of Lords. I think that's the right one.
House of Commons.
There's so much different ones inside UK.
Yeah, there's so many different ones.
They just need a name, just like the Bahamas ones, so I can understand. Anyway.
This House of Assembly, right? All of this. Mm-hmm.
And where they was challenging the Speaker there and laughing at him, and he going back and forth at it. So I'm used to the banter. I don't think much of it. Is it classism? No, I don't think it's classism. Again, I believe whoever was in the chair would have been challenged. It would have been challenged, right? It is what it is, and I think that the AFNM in particular needs to realize that the Speaker isn't going anywhere. She's going to be there for the full 5 years. And you mentioned earlier,
they're not going to pull a menace. It'll be the full 5 years.
The full 5 years, and we know and thank God for Moultrie for this, for all the criticism Moultrie received. We know that the Speaker cannot be replaced. That's right. We all know, because I see ministers do all kind of maneuvering, and we thought that it was possible. Now we realize that the Speaker's there. Mm-hmm. So they need to find out how they can get along. They need to understand what it is the speaker is demanding of them and see if they're able to comply. Not everything that the speaker says that I don't think the opposition should comply to. They might have to object and say, no, Madam Speaker is wrong. How you interpret that is wrong, and we tell it to your face is wrong because our democracy allows such that you can challenge the speaker. You can stand on a point of order. You can stand on a point of correction and have that conversation and debate. Yeah. And so all of this rigmarole, this much ado about nothing, but it's very unfortunate. We need to be debating about laws, debating about policies, and this is where the focus should be on. And I commend the speaker for fortitude because it could be overwhelming. It could be overwhelming when you get continuously critiqued and looked at and watched over all the time. And anyone who has that position, right? Anyone who has that position could get caught up by standing up and showing their strength. And I think that once or twice the speaker did that. She felt that there was a need to show that she is woman, and I put that word there. She is woman, and woman needs to be respected. And I can appreciate that too.
That I am the speaker. You shall respect the chair.
And I want to hasten to say that few Bahamians, when Glenys Hannah Martin speaks, look at her as a female member of parliament.
That's right.
They just see member of parliament. Mm-hmm. And that's because she has transcended her sex.
Mm-hmm.
If I can...
She's a Valkyrie.
Say again?
She's a Valkyrie. She's a Valkyrie.
And Valkyrie suggests female also, female warrior. I believe that with her, there's no sex at all. She is just a member of parliament who does a job efficiently. And I see this narrative of people trying to put a feminine, I mean, she has femininity in her, but trying to put that label of that she is female and that females must be protected and females shouldn't be challenged and female are delicate.
Really? Who's really?
I'm not saying a particular person. I talk about the narrative that that the speaker, because she's female, should not be challenged at all.
No,
that the challenge is based on her sexuality.
And that is why
it's kind of we need to actually investigate that and not allow that to grow legs.
I agree. And I completely agree with you on that, because my thing is the reason why we respect Glenys so much was because nobody showed up to stand and, there was barely any support. Glenys handled her own business against the Speaker House.
Yes, she did.
And we were like, throw your blow, Glenys. Don't let him sit you down. Yeah.
She went pound for pound, blow for blow.
And look who's still in the house.
It reminded me of her father when they lift him up and throw him out of the House of Assembly. I said, she was, and I'm not saying that she's more man, but there were times when they criticized even the FNM, not the FNM, I'm sorry, criticized even the PLP and said that Miss Martin had more, I could say,
testicular fortitude.
I always use a different word.
Let's get this call on the line. Call, you're on the hit back. Thanks for holding.
Godly days is stuck in a voice along with you and Mr. Nura Nahaja.
How you doing, Bremen? Welcome, buddy.
Our country needs justice, law, and order. I want to make a couple of points. First, I don't like copying other countries, parliamentary situation. They have our Bahamas has a script pertaining to the chair, right? And what I think, the lady has lose her cool. What she should have done, read the Riot Act pertaining to the chair, because those guys, some people going to be looking at her with one eye. And another thing is, Glenys, she is an intelligent woman, you know what I'm saying? And she put her in intelligence forth, whereby nobody can, go against. Okay? So that's the difference. And the thing is, that lady, she must realize that children, the speaker now, children also be watching her. I have children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and I wouldn't want them to grow up have that type of attitude when they get in a certain position. So just read the Riot Act, and they have to respect that. And that's what she had not done. She should have did that. Thank you.
Thank you, Brayman. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I don't even know what to say. What do you say, Cecil? What do you got on that one? I don't even know what to say on that one.
All I can say is the universe is full of light. God said, "Let there be light," and the
Godly day.
universe
Godly
of
day.
light all throughout it. Praise God. Praise God.
I don't know. Raymond lost me in the end now. Raymond lost me halfway. But I was riding with Brayman, and then we get to the half. You know what I say? First half, second half. Halftime happened, and then Brayman lost me.
That's because you get lost in the dark.
That's right.
And come into the light. Come into the light.
Yeah, godly day. Godly day. So what Brayman say? He don't want his children. He doesn't want his grandchildren to what? Man, look at the speaker. What did the speaker do? That was so terrible.
He didn't do anything terrible, man.
No, I don't get it. It's like overdone. Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. Go ahead.
She did cut an eye though.
And she did point. She did point.
That cut eye and point.
Then at one point though, can I just say at one point she did look like, listen now, Linda. Like when you remember when you meet your Grammy, like,
If I take
this, come down from out this chair. Ooh, Jesus, Disney. You know when when that pen just won't.
Just ring the air. I thought you'd get down there and ring. Yep.
I did, but I feel like, can I just say, just this is between you and I, Cecil. No one else.
Okay. Nobody else here. Go ahead.
No one else here, right? But I do feel like the member of Parliament for Long Island is do that to you. I feel like he could yuck up your vexation a little bit like that.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. I feel like he's good at that. I feel like he could just like do one good laugh and be like, see, that's the same one.
Thing.
That's the same
thing. Yeah.
That's I tell you about that boy. Right? I feel like that's. And then, Michael Pintard in the new suit. I like the new leader of opposition.
I like Michael Pintard's laugh. You know that was him who was laughing, right?
Yeah, I know it was him that was laughing. And I like it because it's the bus a ride on laugh. Or it's, count it again laugh. It's very haughty. I like it.
Yeah. Very that.
It's dynamic. It's theatrical. It's nice. We'll be back after this. C.A. Nuri joining me. We'll shift gears. You're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
With BTC Business's new smart solutions powered by super-fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Food security is a challenge for many. Now in a pandemic, many more are unsure of their next meal. Through their Feed 5,000 program and a $20,000 donation, AML is working to ensure that everyone has a meal for the holidays, and they're inviting you to help. Now until December 17th, visit any Solomon's, Costrite, Fresh Market, or Domino's in Nassau or Freeport, and Exuma Markets in Georgetown to donate and help feed a family in need this Christmas. No amount is too small. Remember, we're all in this together.
It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. It's the Hit Back.
And we're back. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja, Black Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. My good friend C.A. Nuri joining me on the show. Happy Thursday to everyone. We have starting next week, C.A. on the show. It'll be 10 days of, is it starting next week? Yeah. 10 days of giveaways. No, it's the following week. It's the following week, the 13th. So yeah. 10 days of giveaways starting on the 13th.
What do you mean by giveaways?
Giveaways. Just giving away. Like gifts.
People get to call in and get stuff?
Yeah. They get to call in. Like there's this song on TikTok. I can see if people could do a freestyle on that on the air. You got to freestyle the space. I got all kind of crazy ideas. We got stuff we giving them.
You got to work for it then?
Yes. No, that ain't free.
Okay.
It ain't free for free. No, it's just like everything else. You got to do something.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Can I call it?
No. Just totally no. You could be there when we give it away though. No, just throw that out there.
Free things. I need free things. It's Christmas. I deserve free. No,
you do. You do deserve free things.
Yeah.
And I anyone wants to give C.A. Nuri some free stuff, let me know. I will deliver them.
There's a famous quote that goes, "Good man forget things."
How famous is that quote?
No, but it's famous. It's all on the radio. Good man forget things. Good man forget things.
All right.
It's a song.
Yeah, no, I don't have a radio.
No?
I just listen to my phone, and if it don't.
Yeah, you need to search. Good man forget things.
All right, I got you.
I need
Use
to get
a good man. I can let your wife know, just in case anybody else.
Someone got to send me something.
All right. So tune in. We will be giving away all kinds of things. I'm working on a whole list, and you'll know that by next week what the list is. But so far, it's growing, CA, and it'll be quite a bit of fun for 2 weeks, from starting on the Monday, which is the 13th, and then ending on, and I think, when is Christmas Day, Cecil? Is Christmas Day Friday?
I have no idea.
No, Christmas Eve is Friday. So yeah, we're good.
No, Christmas on Saturday.
Christmas is Saturday.
Do we get extra day? Because I got to get a holiday on Monday, then Boxing Day on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think so. I think you.
See?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But there's a list. I'm sure we have a list.
Okay.
Of when when there will be this, when the holidays will come. All right. So something else that was interesting, of course, right before the Prime Minister left, he dropped the bomb about stuff that was happening with beaches and parks, right? So the Prime Minister leaves, he decides to drop a bomb and then leaves the country. It's just like, award-winning exit strategy there. Set the fire, tell him, figure out how to out it, answer the questions, I'll be back, right? And I thought that was entertaining to a certain degree. But I like Shannon Don Cartwright, right? He's one of the few, again, when we were looking at all of these things, so Shannon Don Cartwright was one of our favorite F&Ms, or one of those who we thought would retain his seat, right? I liked him because there were things that Mr. Cartwright did in private that he didn't ask the media to be there for. And you would hear it. And I remember by happenstance, I ran into him at a certain space when I was checking on the person that I wanted to talk to. And he was there doing the same thing. No media, seriously by himself. That's a character fellow. So I like that about him. But now we have this, right? Pardon me. So the Prime Minister had stated, right before he left, that there were the contracts in beaches and parks moved from 15 million to 37 million, right? So $15.2 million to a projected $37 million that budget increased to, and in a short period of time, right? In a very short period of time, and this left many questions to be answered by the member responsible for this area, which was Shannon Don Cartwright. And it was interesting. And I do appreciate what Mr. Cartwright said, but it made me question or ask, some questions here, Cecil, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So Mr. Cartwright says, and the article written in The Guardian by our Travis Cartwright, Carol, Cartwright has come under fire after the Davis administration revealed that the projected expenditure of the authority increased by nearly 150% in the months leading up to the September 16th general election. 150% in the months. You know that the budget, I think, was finalized in July. So July, August, September, 3 months, let's give or take. And it increased by nearly 150%. Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis slammed the former minister's administration over this reckless and irresponsible decision and vowed that they will be held to account. But Cartwright said he never acted recklessly during his tenure, and it goes in quotes, "Let me state for the record, I will not be used by any intended or unintended attempt to put my integrity in the political crosshairs, whether from without or within," he said in the House of Assembly. Now, I stop right now. Cecil, "I will not be used by any intended or unintended attempts to put my integrity in the political crosshairs, whether from without or within." That line right there, from without or within. He said he never acted recklessly. He said he's not going to be used, his integrity, and whether from without or within, without the party or within the party. Is that what he's trying to say? What do you think he's trying to say?
I interpret it the same way.
So then he's saying now, let me go to this. Cartwright, he says, "Let me state for the record, I will not be used." He said he's never acted recklessly during his tenure. Nor will I allow the efforts of hardworking public servants to be used as political fodder. From what we were tasked with, the Bahamian people benefited greatly. Your take on it, because I walked away very intrigued by that line, whether without or within.
And I stutter and trying to explain that line and trying to understand what is happening. Before the election, we know that a number of rumors about Shandon Cartwright was circulating, right? He dismissed all of them. He tried to explain all of them, and the rumors continued, right? We knew, or he should have known, that the government, the current government, or the PLP administration, let's move from the government, was or is coming after him, right? So he knew that beforehand, right? If it's true or not. By this time, Cartwright should have come to the media and explained what all he has done by this time, and he hasn't. So he allowed this to fester. He allowed this to fester and people to speculate on what exactly happened within his ministry, right? And now he has decided to explain what has happened. But the point is, the talks already has started growing legs and people walking. But let's explain what happened. Cartwright was the chairman of Parks and Parks, Beaches and Parks, right?
Yep.
He doesn't assign money. Whatever money the Minister of Finance, who's the Prime Minister, give him to spend, is his job to spend it.
Yep.
He did not double no money. He did, because he didn't have no money to double. So if they give him, if it's supposed to be $10 million, and they give him $40 million, it's his job to spend the $40 million by giving out the contracts and go there. So there's no scandal. And the idea that the PLP is suggesting that it's untoward to spend the $40 million makes no sense.
Well, come on now. It is weird. You have a budget. No.
Yeah,
now
go
maybe
go ahead.
Now let's go with this.
Let's talk about it.
Yes, let's go with what is the budget, right?
Yes.
You have a budget.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason for a budget.
Yes.
A budget is based on the level of priority, what we want to spend here for whatever reason.
Yes.
Tell me in good conscience, beaches and parks need to increase by 150% their budget
and
when we have people dying, when we didn't have sufficient.
Nahaja, did he increase it?
But what is your point? Are you saying no? But I'm trying to get your point. Is your question then should he be blamed
it's
for
not
it?
his job to explain why the money was increased. Go to the Minister of Finance and say, why did you increase parks?
Okay, I get your point there. So this isn't for Shannon Don to explain.
No,
this isn't for Mr. Cartwright to explain.
Wrong. He spent the money they give him by issuing out contracts for the roads to be clean, so the parks to be clean. And now the parts are very clean.
Do you believe that they funneled? There was definitely something suspicious about this now.
There's
something suspicious about it.
If there is, go to the Minister of Finance and find that out. But there is a narrative. There is a narrative to get Cartwright. And we need to find out why are they working so hard? Why are they working so hard to go at him when he's not involved?
Which is why he's saying within or without. And I think now, this is where I think now we all have to come to a place, especially those who, all of this talk of within or without. We know you're trying to say something. Yes. We know what you're trying to say here, Mr. Cartwright. It's somebody trying to screw you from inside. You're trying to, they're plotting on you now.
Yes.
And my brother, you need to seek refuge.
Yes.
You need to figure out how to align yourself on the right side of history, because I think too, the obvious is what's before works, right? I think Alfred Sayers, right? This is Alfred Sayers, Minister of Works. He presented this information. The Prime Minister then continues with it, adding on to it, blah, blah, blah. But I think now, obviously before you is what ministry it fell under, right? What department this fell under. That's work saying, okay, quantifiably, this is where this information is lying. We see some egregious activity here. What they call it? Electioneering.
Yes.
Right? Like any is all have sinned and fallen. But this is now very unseemly. This is the evidence now where every time you listen to a Free National Movement, we always say the PLP so corrupt, right? That's like the national mantra. Oh, the PLP so corrupt.
Yep.
But the questions of corruption now are being asked systematically, continually. Adrian Gibson now has been with regard to former water and sewage board.
Yes.
Alfred Sayers is saying, as the minister works with the new water and sewage boards, these are our focus. We're focusing on these promotions, these contracts, all of these things. And now you have Mr. Shannon Cartwright under the same sort of scrutiny. Goes back to your original point, though, and I like Shannon Cartwright. He had this funds in yet. At any point, did he see this as a little odd? Did he know that this was electioneering? If it was, you don't think if I know I have a budget of 15 million, all of a sudden I'm spending 37 million in 3 months, Cecil? Give the man some credit. Give the man some intellectual capital that he knew something was amiss.
Nahaja, if you were the Minister of Health and they double your budget, what is your job? To spend it. That's where it is. And both. I want to
spend it on health, right? I agree.
Spend it on health.
And that would make sense.
And the point is, he spent it, and there's no corruption. He can tell you what he spent it on and go in detail, and there's no corruption. But there's a narrative. Someone is trying to create a narrative about him where she said what they said there is no evidence of. We know he was never untoward. There's no scandal attached, but there are people there who are trying to create a negative narrative about him. And it is not necessarily true. Now, both he, Shandon Cartwright, and Adrian Gibson needs to take to the airways and explain exactly what happened.
That's what they need to do. That's what they need to do.
This quiet thing saying, oh, we can let this bypass, it's not working. By this time, the tough questions should have been asked to them. What, Adrian Gibson, we hear you did this, that. Can you explain it? And he should be able to explain it. Cartwright's supposed to be able to say, yes, I got the money and this is what I spent it on. And we see the books and say, okay, yes, I see you spent it on. And we move on, and we're going to move on now to the Minister of Finance. The issue here is a Ministry of Finance issue, and we need to discover and question what happened in Ministry.
But they're not just in silos. But I agree with you. I agree with you that this is a finance matter as well. And here is where it gets interesting to me, because there's something, and I love what Shannon Cartwright said. I really do love what he said. I think it was very strategic what he said when he said he's not going to allow, let me state for the record, I will not be used by any intended or unintended attempt to put my integrity in the political crosshairs. I think that was for the present government, right? That part there. I will not be used by any intended or unintended attempt to put my integrity in the political process, whether from without or within. And I think that was for his party, right? I really, by this, Office Act recklessly. Cartwright said last night he wanted to bring clarity to the matter, right?
But has he brought clarity to the matter?
No, I was never moved by the weight of my office to act recklessly. I used my discretion and authority discriminately. My team and I worked to improve things and processes as best as we could. My ego did not agitate any cause of action that did not involve seeking clarity and clearance from those in the official decision-making and approval process, right? He said official requisitions were sent outlining functional necessities and the funding needed to address those. The funds were subsequently forwarded, right? Where there was a delay that sometimes happens, indication was always given that the funding would be forthcoming. At no time did I or the authority take any unilateral or arbitrary approach in securing additional funds. It just doesn't work that way. No one just picks up funds from the Ministry of Finance or from the Treasury. We follow the process. At every juncture, we sought to be compliant with existing policies and made preparations to adhere. And he goes on, it changes, including the national procurement policy. Cartwright said the authority was a creature of instructions. You hear that? This member never operated in a silo, never was an island unto myself, never in a clandestine manner, he said. While it is totally acceptable to consider the process through which additional funding was approved and acquired, there's no denying that the culmination of the approval process resulted in thousands of behemoths, F&Ms, PLPs, unaffiliated, many who have lost jobs due to this pandemic and now are able to feed their families, pay light bills, and acquire life-saving medication. Cecil, 150%, 15 million to 37 million, and we were in the height of a pandemic. People were dying left, right, and center. And I'm trying to figure out how, where, and why. And like you said, let's go to the Ministry of Finance to see why this particular area where contracts were given out as other areas.
And Nahaja, and off the cuff, remember there was a number of people who were unemployed. Perhaps, I know, perhaps they said, let's seek and find employment for these people. So they increased parks and beaches and parks and provided jobs for scores
and that's what
of
we need to see.
And they wanted to give more PLPs jobs. They threw that PLP part in.
You know what's so crazy? And all of that, make it make sense, right? Make it make sense.
It made sense, eh? Yeah.
Make it make sense. I would love for them to believe that. But my thing is, none of what he said just now said anything of what we spent it all on. And at what point, because listen, man, you know who also got swung by following the rules, but you're still out? KP the Turnquest, still out. Dwayne Sands got kicked out. There's some folks who just learned late. You getting swing.
Yes.
Or used.
Yes.
And I wonder if Mr. Cartwright realized, if that is what we see here, that he was being used. And sometimes, listen, Sheldon Don Cartwright was ascending without the grace of some people, you know. Politics is an interesting bedfellow. We got a call on the line. Caller, you're on the hit back. Welcome.
Hey, pleasant good afternoon, Nahaja, and to your guest, Mr. Nuri.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
I'm fine, thank you, and good afternoon to the nation. Nahaja, your co-host seems to be acting like the ostrich on your show today, trying to bury his head in the sand as though the Bahamian people will follow his act. And we are not following his act. We are not following your act, Cecil, because it makes no sense. As a matter of fact, it's not only finance. In order for funding to be released from finance, the officials from finance act on request. And the request would have to be generated from the entity that requires the additional funding. And it just so happens that we as a country were in a situation where we have lost a great percentage of our GDP. We have lost a great percentage of revenue intake. Expenditure was through the roof. We had a COVID-19 and a Dorian situation looming. I'm sorry. We were reeling from it. And on top of that, unemployment was extremely high. They could not pay the union workers. They could not pay the nurses. They could not pay the people who are on the front line, placing their lives in jeopardy. And so there was priority spending that needed to be taken into consideration. There was a mountain of debt that was continuing to build. The government was not servicing its sinking fund. The government was not putting in place the procedures necessary in order for it to pay its overseas foreign debt. And here it is on the ground. You have a chairman of the Bahamas Public Beaches and Parks Authority who is requesting more than 100% of his revenue, more than 100% of his expenditure to be released to him just months before election, and he's using that money. On top of that, what's worse about all of it is he's taking the Bahamian taxpayer money at the worst time possible, and he's funding cleanup initiatives in West Ridge and in Blair. Blair is perhaps amongst the cleanest communities in this country, bar none. No matter what gated community you compare it to, that area is well kept.
Real quick for me, Anton. Real quick. I got to go to break.
I'm going to end right now. And so, Caesar, please come again. Come again and stop with the poor excuses. Because Bahamian people are tired of being taken for a ride by politicians.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Someone says, no, I agree with Cecil today. TA on his game today. What do you say, Cecil?
I always hold my game. But unfortunately, what Anton said made no sense. That's why you have to shake your head. As you know, you don't make requests. The Ministry of Finance send you money. You have your budget. You know, the budget was doubled.
No. It actually, he's accurate to that. You have a budget. You still have to make your request, your requisition for it. But that's within your budget.
With your budget money. For your budgeted money.
With your requisition.
This wasn't the budget money. This is actual money.
And there's sometimes that your budget could be slashed mid-year within a mid-year budget.
But his budget was not slashed.
No.
See, it doesn't make sense.
Listen, no. But listen, there are some things very much we must, Cecil, you have a whole year worth of budget. 100% is your whole annual budget. 100%.
Yes.
They don't get bigger than that.
Yes.
Unless you go to 150. Apparently, this is a ninja number. And all of these things, that is where it's concerning. I'm sorry. There's no way you cannot be concerned with that. Where I think is the question of what we've been discussing is that, okay, now, because I ain't gonna lie to you, that's why I need him to explain more and the Minister of Finance to really be questioned on this. But he's the one who wrote, he requisitioned, he put in the request. And when did they say, okay, beaches and parks in the height of a pandemic, you need 150%. Your budget is extensive. You are going to help revolutionize the country. Not works, not all of works and road, but that's a part of works. But capital expenditure. Did we build anything? You can spend money better. And that's where you really are right. Let's go to Ministry of Finance. But Shannon Cartwright is not innocent either. He's not innocent either. We'll be back right after this.
Rev customers already get more channels, more sports, and more speed. Now, we're giving more Christmas with up to $250,000 in cash and prizes. Sign up or upgrade to Rev Trio to win prizes like rent and mortgage payments, trips to see your favorite sports teams, plus up to $20,000 in our Rev Cash Vault. Want to win more Christmas? Call 601-8992 today and ask for Rev Trio. Rev, you and us, together.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
When I got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Helping out each other, family and everybody. It's a simple act of kindness with you, me, and RBC.
RBC wants to spread acts of kindness during this festive season. One simple act of kindness for our friends, co-workers, and communities can cause the brightest smile. Help a stranger, give a food basket, or call an elderly person. Share your stories at facebook.com/RBC Caribbean.
Acts of kindness, RBC.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we're back. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. My good friend C.A. Nuri joining me on the show. All right, we got some text messages. I want to get to some of them now. I don't see Patricia DeVoe lasting as long as the speaker. I don't think anybody's going to move her, though. So, I mean, who's going to move her? She can stay as long as she wants, right? Unless there's a vote of no confidence, right? They can have a vote of no confidence, right? What happened with House and Moutry was that they'd already done a vote of no confidence and then a vote of confidence. It was just this whole mashup. Poor guys. Maybe if she had some bass in her voice, they would have respected her. Control your house. Awesome job. No, that's the Montel Heights in Mr. Minnis in the whole come here, you come here. I actually thought that was quite entertaining. I just,
And it reminds me of a Senate debate where they say, I'll cut you. But that was a different senator who turned minister now, talking about a former attorney general and the commentary in between. But these rhetoric and talks is typical in the House Assembly.
But didn't we actually have a fight, though? We actually had a fight.
We never had no fight. No, we never had no fight.
Listen, who had the karate fight? That's what I call it.
That was in cabinet. That was in cabinet. That was not in the House Assembly. That's across the building, across the road in the Churchill building.
Big fight.
Yeah.
Glass break.
Yes.
But not in the House.
Right. Never in the House. We decent people in the Bahamas.
Questionable. Nahaja, if that was a man who behaved in the same manner, everyone would be saying, but he don't play. The speaker was doing her job. The woman taking charge. I support her 1,000%. I think, but we had House and Moutry and we was mad with him too. I don't know. I just think.
I don't think why it's not a sexist thing, because we say these things about the speaker all the time.
But no, but Halson was behaving quite sexist. The way his response to Gladys was different.
He had an indigenous wife, and that was one of the reasons.
Someone say yes in the House. Code Smith. Big fight.
It was a big fight.
Big fight.
And Kenyatta Gibson, but I wasn't going to call a name, but no, those are two names were called at the time.
I mean, it's on the record.
It's on the record.
The speaker set the stage for this reaction from the first day she acted. The head movements, the tones, the behavior. She set the stage. It's a new day. Set a new standard. Be different. Let's get on with the people's business. Use your gavel and make a ruling if you have a rude parliamentarian. If you have rude parliamentarians, and be done with it. No rowing back and forth makes the speaker look weak and angry. That is how someone says the next text. That is how my teacher used to scold us and then tell us, go think on these things. I tell you, I went to RM, Philippians 4:8. That's our thing. That's how Madam wring my neck and point my finger at you was acting. Classless, if you ask me, will say that my likes and dislikes are really out of order. It ain't about you, Madam, I guess. Okay, this argument is moot, Nahaja. The PM made a political statement without providing any proof of malfeasance. So Cartwright has nothing to answer to unless the PM tabled in the House of Assembly proof of his accusations. Okay. All right, I like that one, Ms. Black. You need to just zip it about beaches and parks. Many Bahamians benefited from those contracts. For example, those of us whom the insurance banks and dealerships collaborated with to mash up the used car sales. I don't know. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one connected. I thought it was going to say, mash up. I didn't see that one connected. But, okay. Mrs. Black, my problem is the amount of money paid for cleanup. We talking millions here, not a few 100,000. Mr. Cartwright has some explaining to do. What type of leader was PM Dr. Minnis? Would you describe him as narcissistic? Lord, I've been saying that a long time. I'm gonna be a sociopath, but that's a whole other story. I don't know. Okay, Nahaja, to compare and or to justify the behaviors between both speakers is quite senseless and nonsensical. You're rough today. Evil compared to evil is still evil. Evil is defeated by good. Better and best overcome poor, bad, and horrible. I mean, you're rough today. It's Thursday. Like, we got to cheer up.
To call that good, decent woman evil. She just have a different.
I don't even call House and Moultrie evil.
No,
like, why do we call people evil? They're not evil.
Yeah.
They're not evil. They were doing a job. You didn't like the job they did. It's nothing to do with their spirit. My God, we like next level. And plus, you have to throw rock. Like, why we got to say nonsensical? I feel a certain way. I feel a certain way with that one. Yeah, but those are the texts for the day. Okay, just throw that out there, Cecil. Anything you want to round up before we switch gears? Because I want to talk about expiring vaccines.
Yes, let's talk about that one time. I know we're limited on time, and I say we got to do something.
I know, right? We got to do something. All right. So, can I just say the Prime Minister, why? Listen,
still having that man as Prime Minister. I'm watching you. You said it about 4 times now.
And I have a lot of PTSD every time. I have a lot of like trauma when I say it or I see him. I'm traumatized, the smidgen, but we digress. So anyways, Dr. Minnis said something I actually agree with him in the House of Assembly yesterday when we were talking about the vaccines and Johnson & Johnson expiring. And I agree. I do agree with him. A broken clock is right twice a day. So I actually do agree that it doesn't look good that we have vaccines expiring. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine was always coming close to the end. And so this isn't where it was, gathered by the administration. They knew it was running low. It was always coming to an end. It was coming quickly on this administration. And I think that they, like the other previous, selling Johnson & Johnson is a tougher sell here in country. Even though it's a one-shot vaccine, it is still not considered like Pfizer or AstraZeneca for many as their preference. But we can't afford for it to expire because we need donations. I think the recommendation that he gave was a very good recommendation, that we should donate it to countries that need it. Be seen as benevolent, but do not allow the vaccines to expire. They are important. We may not appreciate them, but there are others who would appreciate, welcome them, and use them. And we should do this right away. I think a good idea is a good idea. And regardless of the vessel, you take it and run with it. And I think Dr. Minnis actually gave us a good idea. Thank you, Dr. Minnis. Your thoughts, Cecil?
My concern is we already demonized the vaccine. There's a narrative saying that the vaccines have already been expired, right? And I like the idea that Dr. Minnis gave. But now to distribute it with our people in the Bahamas already demonize it and damn it, saying that it's not good. It's not good to be given away. I think now would be a tough sell to even pass it on to people, even though there's a good idea that we should do it.
Yeah, well, listen, I think we might demonize it, but there's some folks who look at it and say it ain't expired. Like it's not expired. I see the date. Like we can talk.
The media caught up and say, "Oh, that's the same ones they said spoiled." Yeah, and they want to give it to us.
Well, so did we say that these were spoiled? Was that like something I missed in media?
No, I just saying that's the spin. Saying Dr. Minnis want to give away, spoil, and put in quotes vaccine to people, poor people, and that's unfortunate. And where we know that it's not spoiled at all, and it's still good, and it hasn't expired. And I agreed with him. We need to pass it on as quick as possible and let someone benefit from it.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was some sort of narrative out there. I do believe that. I think it's a really great idea. Foreign relations, with our health crises, we are going to continue to need support with the COVAX facility with vaccines. Alicia says South Africa would welcome those vaccines. It's all about logistics, though. So, what is the deadline? And I think they said the beginning of the year is when it expires or something.
Yeah, by the end of the year. So we have 7 weeks. We have 7 weeks to try pass it on. There's Haiti next door. There's Jamaica next door. There's Turks and Caicos have all kinds of vaccine. But we need to start making some phone calls and say, man, we have it. We will fly Bahamas Air and deliver it and make sure that you have it to use. We need to do it.
And he was right on that. And I think that that's something that would be good for us. And people, Bahamians just aren't doing this is an issue that the Ministry of Health has with regard to the vaccines, period. I am an AstraZeneca vaccine lover, period. That's my vaccine of choice. And when I say lover, I'm not married to it, but if there's anyone that I'll take that one. And then there are others who prefer Pfizer, others who prefer none. And the Johnson & Johnson has a very small uptick. And I think that is an issue of maybe more education. One shot.
So have you heard any narrative about the booster? Is there such a thing as a booster in-house? And can that Johnson & Johnson be used as a booster? Because people demanded this booster now.
Maybe you can use it as a booster. Maybe that is an option there. But I think, great question, Cecil, because I do believe I did hear something of it. I need to go ahead and confirm, but not as the Johnson & Johnson as the booster, but now that there was a talk of we are going to get booster shots, and Johnson & Johnson could be a great booster for that, for folks who want a booster shot. But I think the government still we've seen a downward trend in vaccine acceptance. And it's this a process, but I don't think we should allow the vaccines to expire in our care. That's waste. And around the world, people would love to have it, even if we don't appreciate it. And so I thank Dr. Minnis for that. After he, roughed up Darvel, I like it. That's a good one.
But Darvel did tell him to sit down, so I understand his response. But I see that new variant is in the United States now. So any minute now, we shall close our borders to them. Because if we could close it to South Africa and them African states.
Oh, no.
No?
Oh, no.
No?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
We can't close it to the United States?
America will close the border on us, and then we would be like, you guys aren't nice. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And by the way, it wasn't first found in South Africa. It was just first named in South Africa.
Yeah.
Everywhere else had it, but we have not shut down anyone else.
Well, the South Africans know better for the next time. Don't be the first. You find it, you put it in your back pockets, and I ain't never talk about this.
We ain't got no virus. We only got the cold. CA, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja, Black Guardian Radio. Everyone have a great day. See you tomorrow. We're out.